While the world races forward, some places quietly stay behind, unnamed, unspoken, and seemingly untouched by any era. The journey begins with a narrow path winding through ancient forest, where sunlight trickles through the leaves like fragments of forgotten memories. The deeper you go, the stranger the landscape becomes. Jagged mountain peaks rise like stone towers carved in prehistoric times, sharp, sheer, and otherworldly. The space closes in. The cliffs seem to guide you, narrowing like a passage meant to protect something hidden. And then, at the end of that path, deep within an extinct volcano, a silent lake appears. Emerald green, perfectly still, a mirror to the sky, cradled by towering stone walls. You find yourself frozen, not from fear, but awe, because beauty like this feels untouched, sacred. Even a whisper would feel out of place. This isn't a sightseeing trip. It's a journey into the hidden masterpieces of nature, the secret natural wonders the world never talks about. Ijen crater holds the world's largest acid lake, about 0.6 mile wide and 660 feet deep, with stunning emerald green water. The main highlight is the rare blue fire phenomenon, appearing when sulfur gas ignites upon contact with air at night. The faint blue glow blending with sulfur mist creates a surreal scene unlike anywhere else on Earth. For generations, sulfur miners have carried loads weighing over 130 pounds up from the crater floor to the rim. This grueling mining work is not just a livelihood, but also a cultural symbol of endurance and community strength. Trekking tours allow visitors to witness the blue fire and acid lake while emphasizing environmental protection and safe exploration. Cappadocia sits on a dry, high plateau covered by thousands of natural stone towers formed millions of years ago. The rock chimneys are about 130 feet tall on average, with strange shapes like giant mushrooms pointed towers, or twisted stone pillars. This landscape was created by volcanic ash combined with long-term erosion by wind and water, forming a marvelous natural maze. Unlike other regions, people cleverly carved the soft rocks to build homes, monasteries, and even vast underground cities. The sight of Cappadocia from a hot air balloon at sunrise, with hundreds of stone towers glowing under golden light, is truly magical. It also makes them appreciate the deep harmony between nature and human intelligence across thousands of years of history. Svartifoss is a famous waterfall in Iceland, formed by melting glacier water that falls from a height of about 65 feet, creating white water over black rock. Its most special feature is the hexagonal basalt columns standing upright, formed when lava cooled slowly millions of years ago. Light reflecting on the rock faces creates a magical visual effect that attracts thousands of tourists and photographers. The surrounding vegetation includes moss, lichens, and cold-resistant shrubs growing on wet rocks, along with some temperate bird species. Svartifoss has inspired architects to design many national landmark buildings in Iceland. Now, the waterfall is protected inside a national park with walking trails for visitors to limit impact on the landscape and preserve its natural environment. Chiribiquete is an isolated land deep in the jungle, unreachable by road and only accessible by plane or long treks through dense forest. Its most striking features are the tepuis, flat-topped sandstone plateaus with vertical cliffs reaching over 1,000 feet tall, standing like natural fortresses. Beyond the dramatic terrain, over 75,000 ancient rock paintings reflect human life, beliefs, and connections to nature through thousands of years. These images, combined with a unique ecosystem, make the place a living museum of history, culture, and evolution. Its isolation has helped preserve both nature and ancient heritage in nearly untouched condition. Chiribiquete not only impresses with its landscape, but also inspires deep respect for the past and humanity's bond with the earth. Largo Dorapus is a mountain lake with a bright turquoise color located at about 6,200 feet high, surrounded by steep cliffs and silent wilderness. Its strange color does not come from the bottom, but from minerals floating in the water that reflect sunlight, creating a rare natural effect. The water changes clarity and color through the day, from pale blue in the morning to mirror-like brightness at noon. Although it looks peaceful, the water is always very cold, usually not warmer than 50 degrees Fahrenheit, making swimming dangerous. Visitors can only reach the lake by hiking and holding onto ropes along narrow paths beside cliffs. In winter, the lake freezes, but the turquoise glow beneath the ice still shows like a giant gem. Huacachina is one of the rare desert oases in the world, with a surreal beauty surrounded by golden sand dunes over 330 feet tall. It once had a natural lake, but now is kept alive by pumped groundwater to preserve its magical look. The dunes change shape every year due to strong desert winds, creating a scene that is always new. The sunset here is considered one of the most beautiful on Earth, as the light reflects off the lake and dunes like a living painting. This place is famous for sandboarding and buggy rides across steep, challenging sand hills. The climate is extremely dry, with humidity below 20% making sounds echo far, and the air feels absolutely still. Bagil Cave is a sea cave naturally formed over millions of years by waves and wind eroding soft limestone, creating a giant dome with an open hole at the top. Sunlight shines through this round hole, creating beautiful light effects that highlight the golden sand and clear water inside the cave. With a stone dome over 65 feet tall, and only reachable by water, the cave feels like a hidden world separate from the outside. The colors of the limestone, sea, and sunlight blend together to form a unique and magical beauty. The water around the cave is home to many fish, crabs, starfish, and seabirds, showing a rich marine ecosystem. Although not linked to major historical events, Bagil Cave has become a modern cultural icon and a famous travel destination. Lençóis Maranhenses is one of Brazil's most unique natural wonders, with a beauty that stuns all who see it. Unlike any other desert, this place receives heavy rainfall, and thousands of freshwater lagoons appear during the rainy season. These lagoons form between pure white sand dunes, and the water is crystal clear with turquoise or blue colors. The dunes can rise up to 130 feet tall, creating soft, natural curves that look like a painting. The terrain was shaped by strong wind and rain over thousands of years, making the landscape feel like another planet. What's even more amazing is that although the lagoons only exist for a few months, fish are found living inside them, surprising scientists. Tsingy de Bemaraha stands out with a limestone forest of sharp stone blades reaching from 33 to 230 feet high, forming a unique natural maze. To reach this place, visitors must cross rugged dirt paths and fragile suspension bridges connecting the towering stone peaks. This area was shaped by millions of years of limestone erosion, where rain and underground rivers carved vertical pillars and hidden caves. The ecosystem here is extremely unique, with many plant and animal species surviving only within the cracks or atop the stone towers. Standing among the sharp stone forest, reaching into the sky, people cannot help but feel small before the endurance of nature. It deeply reminds us of the lasting power of life on Earth and the quiet strength of natural forces. Mono Lake is one of the oldest saltwater lakes in the United States, formed about 70,000 years ago by volcanic activity. Because it has no outlet to the sea minerals built up over time, making the lake 2 to 3 times saltier than the ocean, with high alkalinity. The lake's most striking feature is the tufa towers, formed when underground springs rich in calcium mix with the carbonate in the lake water. Despite the harsh environment, the lake supports unique brine shrimp and diving flies, which feed millions of migratory birds each year. Mono Lake also holds deep cultural meaning for indigenous people and was the focus of a major environmental protection movement in the 20th century. Thanks to strong conservation efforts, the water level is recovering and the ecosystem is slowly coming back to life. Danakil Depression is one of the lowest places on Earth, lying about 410 feet below sea level and formed by the splitting of 3 tectonic plates. The landscape is stunning with turquoise lakes, bright white salt flats, neon yellow hot springs, and steaming sulfur mounds. Even though daytime temperatures can rise over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, some heat-resistant bacteria and extreme microbes still survive. This area has been home for thousands of years to the Afar people, known for their traditional hand mining of salt in harsh conditions. Today, Danakil Depression attracts adventure lovers, but tourism activities are strictly managed to protect its fragile geology. Preserving the cultural values tied to this extraordinary land is also a major focus. Skellig Michael is a remote island of rock rising from the ocean, famous for its wild beauty and ancient religious history. The island sits dozens of miles from land and can only be reached by small boat during good weather. It holds a stone monastery from the 6th century, located nearly 600 feet above sea level, made of dry stones stacked without any cement. These structures have stood strong for over 1,000 years through ocean winds and heavy storms. Skellig Michael is also home to thousands of seabirds, especially during nesting season, creating a vibrant soundscape in the quiet space. For many visitors, this place is not just a heritage site, but a journey to reconnect with nature and the soul, a rare spiritual experience in life. The Galápagos Islands, formed about 5,200 years ago through volcanic eruptions in the Pacific Ocean, creating basalt islands with extinct volcanoes. The archipelago lies about 621 miles west of mainland Ecuador, standing out in the vast ocean with a mix of wild terrain and calm, clear water bays. Their unique beauty comes from the contrast of dark volcanic rock and deep blue sea, along with rich coral reefs hidden beneath the waves. Biodiversity is extremely rich, featuring dozens of endemic species like giant tortoises, marine iguanas, sea lions, and Darwin's finches. Historically, the islands inspired Charles Darwin to develop the theory of evolution and are now recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Exploring the Galapagos requires licensed tours following designated paths and visitor limits to minimize impact. Dead Vlei is a surreal land that was once a lush oasis, but is now completely dry, leaving behind cracked white soil and hundreds of dead trees standing alone. These trees have been dead for over 600 years, but they have not decayed because the climate is so dry that bacteria cannot survive. The landscape becomes strange and haunting, with a mix of white ground, blackened trees, towering red sand dunes, and deep blue sky. Daytime temperatures can rise above 122 degrees Fahrenheit, but nighttime becomes freezing, creating an extreme temperature contrast. Surrounding sand dunes rise over 980 feet, making people look tiny in the middle of the burning orange scenery. There is no water, no animals, and no sound. This place is called the Valley of Absolute Silence. Wadi Bani Khalid hides among dry limestone mountains, accessible only by winding mountain paths and narrow canyons. Amazingly, the water here flows year-round and stays cool even when desert temperatures outside rise over 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Natural pools form a series of beautiful swimming holes connected by small streams weaving through rocky cracks. Soaking in the crystal-clear pools and listening to the gentle sound of flowing water, visitors feel the miracle of life thriving in a harsh land. Mount Roraima is a giant tabletop mountain with vertical cliffs reaching 1,300 feet high and a flat summit covering over 12 square miles. The mountain lies isolated among ancient rainforests, only accessible by a tough journey lasting several days across rugged terrain. The summit's surface is filled with small lakes, deep crevices, and black stone mazes with strange shapes, creating a surreal world. Thick clouds cover the summit year-round, making the mountain look like a floating island in the sky. The ancient rock layers here are over 2 billion years old, ranking among the oldest surviving parts of the Earth. Standing on the summit, people easily feel their smallness before the endless flow of time and nature. Parícutin is the only volcano in modern times that people witnessed fully forming from a crack in the ground. The volcano began erupting in 1943 and rose over 1,100 feet within a year, spreading lava across a large surrounding area. In sunlight, volcanic ash and stone reflect a cold silver glow that makes the entire area look mystical and surreal. Although the crater zone remains harsh, moss and lichens have started to grow, marking nature's slow return to the land. Parícutin is a cultural symbol tied to living memory and traditional ceremonies of native communities in the region. Preservation work is ongoing to ensure safety, restore the ecosystem, and protect the site's unique historical and geological value. Cathedral Gorge is a majestic park in an isolated semi-desert land. Known for tall, narrow cliffs and earth towers shaped like ancient cathedrals. Eroded clay structures over millions of years have formed a natural maze with narrow canyons, vertical columns. This area was once the floor of an ancient lake, and as the water disappeared, the drying clay slowly eroded into magical, ever-changing forms. Sunlight, filtering through the cracks, gives the feeling of walking into a natural temple where time seems to stand still. Unlike wider canyons, Cathedral Gorge feels intimate, sacred, and personal in a very unique way. Walking between towering clay walls, people clearly feel their smallness within nature's carved beauty and sense the spiritual depth this quiet landscape brings. Unianga Lakes are located in the dry Sahara Desert and are among the few places on Earth where both fresh and saltwater lakes exist side by side. Some lakes have extremely high salt levels, while others contain fresh water thanks to underground aquifers that have lasted for thousands of years. Even though this region gets very little rain, the lakes do not dry up because strong winds and unique land shapes help control evaporation. The scenery looks like it comes from another planet, with deep blue lakes lying between red sand dunes and white salt crusts. The contrast between harsh dryness and fragile life creates a surreal natural landscape. Wadi Shab hides between giant limestone canyons, only reachable by walking and swimming through crystal clear natural pools. Steep cliffs, small waterfalls, and emerald green pools create a stunning scene where rocks and water blend magically. Especially, the hidden pools connect through underwater passages, creating a unique exploration experience. Freshwater streams flow between hot sandstone, bringing rare, cool oases to the dry landscape. Swimming through pools, hearing water trickle, and seeing hidden waterfalls lets people feel deep tranquility and the silent beauty of nature. Caño Cristales is called the River of Five Colors, formed from ancient rock layers over 1 billion years old. During the rainy season, the river shines in red, pink, yellow, green, and blue, thanks to the growth of Macarenia clavigeira plants. This area is also home to rich wildlife, like jaguars, howler monkeys, and many colorful tropical birds. The river has deep spiritual meaning for the native people who lived here thousands of years ago. Today, Caño Cristales is strictly protected, with limited visitor numbers to maintain its original beauty. All tourism activities must follow strict environmental rules to avoid harming the rare ecosystem. Dangxia National Geological Park is famous for its colorful sandstone mountains stretching for miles, looking like a giant rainbow painting made by nature. These bright colors are completely natural, formed over 24 million years as mineral layers were pressed, lifted, and then eroded. Many of the rock layers appear in regular wave shapes, looking hand-painted, but actually formed by natural tectonic movement. The dry climate and lack of large trees help preserve the mountain's original shapes and colors without being covered over time. Although the surface looks soft, Most of the rocks here are very hard and not easily broken. Each colored stripe represents a different geological era, so it's like watching millions of years of Earth's history gathered in one place. Thingol's Cave is a strange sea cave made entirely from hexagonal basalt columns reaching up to 72 feet high, all shaped like they were cast from a mold. The inside looks like a natural cathedral with stone arches, narrow paths, and strange echoes from waves hitting the cave walls. The sound effect inside is so perfect that even small waves create a living rock symphony. When the tide rises, seawater floods the cave and forms a mirror-like surface, making the whole place feel unreal. Although it is only about 227 feet long, the deeper you go, the louder the sound becomes, and the colder it gets, like entering an ancient sacred space. Blue Hole lies isolated between cliffs and the open sea, making the journey challenging and requiring great patience from visitors. This waterhole is about 33 feet wide and nearly 49 feet deep, connected to the ocean by a beautiful natural stone corridor. When sunlight shines down, the water inside becomes crystal clear, reflecting shimmering colors from emerald green to deep cobalt blue. The steep rock walls around create a secluded space, like a doorway leading directly into the vast ocean. Blue Hole is not just a geological wonder, but also a legendary diving site with a rich underwater ecosystem. Standing before this magical hole, people easily feel their smallness compared to the mighty and endless power of nature. Qeshm Island is the largest island in the Persian Gulf, shaped over millions of years with salt valleys, rocky canyons, and sandstone mountains. Qeshm Geopark impresses visitors with the world's longest salt cave, spiral gorges, and bizarre natural rock columns. Sunlight shining through cliffs creates shimmering color effects, making the scenery look both wild and surreal. Although located in an arid zone, Qeshm still holds vast mangrove forests sheltering fish, crabs, migratory birds, and rare marine animals. Islanders maintain fishing traditions, boat-weaving crafts, and sea-based festivals passed down through many generations. Rock valleys, salt caves, mangrove forests, and ancient villages create a strong attraction for nature exploration lovers. Lake Abraham is a man-made lake located in a remote area surrounded by rugged mountains and harsh weather all year, especially in winter. During the frozen season, a famous phenomenon appears. Thousands of methane bubbles get trapped beneath clear ice, forming long white columns. These bubbles are made when microbes under the lake break down organic matter and release methane, a flammable and dangerous gas if it builds up. This phenomenon is not only rare, but also extremely dangerous when the ice melts in spring, as methane can escape and catch fire if it meets a flame. The perfect layers of frozen bubbles turn the lake into a strange and beautiful sight that attracts scientists and photographers alike. Standing in the cold silence, surrounded by glowing bubbles under the winter sun, people deeply feel nature's fragility and hidden power. The Amazon rainforest is the largest tropical rainforest in the world, covering about 3,000 square miles and holding the richest ecosystem on Earth. It was formed around 55 million years ago, where the Amazon River feeds millions of species in a wet and dense environment. Its natural beauty shines with tall layers of green trees, morning mist, and sunlight breaking through the canopy like magical light beams. The rainforest is home to about 400 species of mammals, over 1,300 bird species, and tens of thousands of unique insects. Famous creatures like jaguars, pink freshwater dolphins, and giant anaconda snakes live in this wild forest. Protecting the Amazon is essential, as it is called the green lung, that helps balance the global climate and supports life for billions of organisms.